Welcome back, everybody, to the water cooler. I'm Roman.
I'm AJ.
And today we're going to have a very not-so-special guest on our show. He's actually a Robert Tonyan enthusiast, our good friend Eric Tanz. And he's going to be giving us his top 10 tight ends. So, Eric, when you're ready, you can tell us what you got.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, man.
All right, so for top 10 tight ends, first I have a couple honorable mentions. I got Jonnu Smith, Eric Ebron, Logan Thomas, and Irv Smith for my honorable mentions. But starting off with number 10, I have, my enthusiast, Robert Tonyan.
At 10.
So he was ranked third among tight ends in 2020. He had a breakout season, but he was very touchdown dependent. He only had about 530 yards, 550 yards, but he'll still be very productive in 2021. Number 9, I got Mike Gesicki. His yards per catch and touchdowns have increased from 2019 to 2020, but with the additions of Will Fuller and Jalen Waddle and the development of Tua, rather than Ryan Fitzpatrick on that team, I don't see his production being increased drastically. Number 8, I have Dallas Goedert. He missed 5 games in 2020 due to a calf injury, but is still projected to be the tight end 1 in Philly. All of Goddard's touchdowns, though, were thrown by Carson Wentz, so I'm pretty unsure about his chemistry with Jalen Hurts. That's why I don't put him at 6 or 7 on this list. And I also wouldn't put him at 6 or 7 because it's unsure at this point that Zach Ertz is going to be traded or not. So at number 7, I have Noah Fant.
Hopefully.
So, yeah, he finished at the tight end 9 PPR leagues in 2020. I believe he will improve to at least tight end 7 in 2021 due to a quarterback upgrade or the improvement of Drew Lock because he flashed signs of playing well at the end of 2020.
Yeah, he likes throwing a Fant too.
Does like throwing a Fant.
Yeah. So for 5 and 6, these two guys are pretty interchangeable for me. But the reason I'm putting this guy at 6 is because he's a rookie. So I have Kyle Pitts at number 6. He's an absolute monster. He's not just a tight end. He's just listed as a tight end. He's a huge receiving threat, and he should pick up a lot of the slack for Julio Jones going to the Titans this year. And he'll be a great target for Matt Ryan. Number 5, I have Mark Andrews. I see Mark as having a similar season as he did in 2019. Yards-wise, he had 852 yards in 2019. I don't see him having 10 touchdowns, though. He finished as a tight end 6 in 2020 in PPR leagues, but he missed a couple of games. And due to the Ravens' heavy rushing offense, I don't see him being higher on this list because of my number 4 guy, TJ Hawkinson, is going to lead the Lions in receptions this year and probably touchdowns as well. They don't really have any other receiving threats that are going to out-catch TJ. And I think he's in for a breakout year. So number 3, these guys are really predictable, but I just wanted to talk about them because they're all elite. I have Darren Waller. He established himself as a top 3 tight end in the NFL in 2019. He led the team in targets in 2020 and will continue to in 2021. And he's the best receiving threat on that team. I don't think there's anything more to say about him. But number 2, I had George Kittle, the People's tight end. He's coming back from an injury-ridden year. He has had a ridiculous run after catch ability, and we'll see around the same number of targets he saw in 2019. Also, I would just like to add, he played 8 games last year, but in those games in 2020, he averaged 15.63 points over those 8 games when he had a broken foot. So his production will increase significantly because he doesn't have a broken foot.
That is true.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I even need to talk about this. Travis Kelce.
That's a gimme.
Like AJ said on a couple of podcasts ago, him and Mahomes are absolutely magical. He led the team in targets and receptions in 2020, and even if he doesn't in 2021, he's still going to be the best tight end in the NFL with his elite playmaking ability.
Yeah, I dig the list.
Yeah, I like the list too. One thing I would change with it, I would move Goddard up a little bit. I'd actually have Goddard above Mark Andrews, if I'm being honest.
Really?
I mean,
I could see that, honestly.
That's interesting.
I understand Goddard didn't catch any touchdown passes from Hurts last season, but I mean, beyond him, like the last episode we just filmed, beyond him and Devontae Smith, there's no threats on that team whatsoever.
Yeah. He's a big target too. He gets open. He's a great all-around tight end.
He's going to be on the field because he can catch, he can block.
He's like 6'6", 260
Yeah, dude, he's going to be on the field. He's like a Brent Selleck and Zach Ertz combined. Like, he really can do both, dude.
Yeah, no, I love Dallas Goedert. I also like that you did not put Kyle Pitts in the top 5 because I feel like a lot of people are doing that right now just because the hype behind him. We haven't seen the guy play a snap, and it's his rookie year. He's probably not going to be like that dominant.
I mean, but you got Matt Ryan to the football.
Yeah.
And you have Mike Davis at running back.
Right. I still think Kyle Pitts is going to be
Calvin Ridley and Russell
5.
Gage are going to have a total of 250 receptions combined.
I don't think Kyle Pitts is going to like do that much. Like he's not going to be as much as a top 5.
He's still going to play a Julio Jones role on that team. That's what he did at Florida. He's going to play outside. He's going to play inside. He's not going to play outside all the time, but they're not going to leave him on the line the whole time.
No, I agree, Eric.
Plus, regardless, regardless of his skill and everything, you saw how many times Matt Ryan looked at Hayden Hurst last year. It's not that many, and he did have Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage majority of the time.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's a complete difference in talent.
So would you put Kyle Pitts in top 5?
I'm not saying I'd put him in the top 5.
I like him at 6, but not top
I'd have
5.
him over Hawkins, or I'd have him over not Hawkinson, Andrews. In a dynasty, these rankings were obviously not dynasty.
It is this year.
However, if this was dynasty, I mean, you got to have. I'd have Pitts above Waller if I'm being honest.
Dynasty, yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, in production for this season, obviously I'd have Waller.
Yeah.
Possibly even next season I'd still have Waller, but for the grand scheme of things, I mean,
this season I just don't like Kyle Pitts in the top 5.
Yeah, I agree.
There's significant competition there, and Dallas Goedert too.
Yeah, you had guys like Noah Fant coming into the league. They're like, oh, this guy's an athletic freak. I mean, obviously Pitts is on another level, but
yeah,
you can't predict rookie tight ends, having monster years because we rarely see it happen. They have to develop themselves and prove themselves. I feel like before the quarterback really starts believing and giving them
tight ends take time. Most of them at least,
sure.
And they use that time. Another I liked is how we were just talking about Tua and how that team is going to rely on him. I like that you have Gesicki low.
I think Gesicki could actually boom this year. In not efficiency, but just strictly receptions.
Playmaking ability.
Tua sucks.
That I agree.
He's going to check down the ball a lot to his tight ends.
I agree with that because
they're not going to be efficient receptions, but they're going to be receptions.
Yards, not so much. But,
so I think also an interesting thing to add on the Dolphins is that I think Myles Gaskin is actually going to have a lot of receptions too this year. That's going to take away from Mike Gesicki as well. That's why I'm putting him low too. Because you have Devontae Parker, Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle. You have what's his name? Who I just said, Myles Gaskin too. That's 4 people that can catch the ball well. And then Gesicki, I mean, he's just in there in the rotation, so that's why he's low for me.
Yeah, it just depends how far Tua gets that ball. But I completely agree with you about Myles Gaskin. I think he's going to have a great year. I've been high on Myles Gaskin, and he's a good catching back too. He showed it last year. So he's had some big flashes. So yeah, I agree with that take as well.
He's a solid player.
Right.
I like your list, Eric. I approve.
Yeah, and I have Kenny Galladay at number 1 as well.
Kenny in the second. Yeah, for everyone who doesn't know, Eric Tanz took Kenny Galladay in the second round of a dynasty draft.
You didn't have to throw him under the bus like that.
Oh, I'm just letting everyone know.
I mean, since we did it to Jack, Eric, we had to do it to you.
Yeah, it's only right. Only fair.
Yeah, it's okay. That's okay. At least my list makes sense, unlike Jack's. Jack's was just an absolute train wreck. I don't even know why you would even consider putting Miles Sanders in the top 8.
Yeah, that top 10 release, that was questionable for sure. A lot I disagree with on that.
I love Miles Sanders, but no.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Eric.
Well, last episode I just told everybody to sell Miles Sanders. So you know how I feel. But yeah, that's all we have. Thank you, Eric, for your tight ends and joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric. We appreciate you having you on.
Yeah, great list, man. Yeah, we'll have you on again, don't worry. But yeah, let us know what you think of his list, and that's it for this episode.